Alright, CSS battle time, and we have Periscope. I don't know. Something with 3 dots. What does that make me think of? There's something. I don't know. Alright. Well, border radius is going to come into play in one fashion or another. Because these straight lines here, theoretically, you could do that with a radial gradient. No. Yeah, theoretically you could do it with a radial gradient, but I'd need 2 to make these dots and then the red circles without having like dips in between. This thing here, oh, it stops right there. Look at that. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So that's a more complex border radius. Or we do something like a border or outline or, you know, some such. Because I have to take care of that detail and put a border or something on it anyways. I was thinking that HTML would just be the background because that'd be simple, and then we wouldn't have to do like a box shadow or something on this thing. But I think yeah, what I'm gonna do is HTML is gonna get a border. Yeah, no matter what, I have to write a border radius with extra points on it, but that's not the worst thing. I guess I could do box shadow. Let's do box shadow. So let's start by making that vertical red thing. And I wonder if I can I hide a radial gradient? Yeah, I think I can. I think I can, and it'll take a variable. If I do a variable, it's better to just write another background. Maybe I could do font. Alright, let's start with the background and get it built, and then we can see what happens if what we need to change to, you know, write a single background on this. So we're gonna write a box shadow. This would be the easiest way to, you know, create that outer purple. And then we'll margin this down. There we go. It's like 150 on the sides and then 10 on the bottom. Alright, let's get it to size, and then we'll do our border radius. So 160, and this is more like 90. There we go. Let's do our border radius. We'll go 1 inch, 1 inch, 0, 0. Okay. Now, I wonder if there's a way to get the border radius. I want these zeros to disappear on the body element. But as it stands, I don't want any of this on the body element. So honestly, I can just write, except I do want border radius. I want border radius except for those zeros. Well, that's just peachy. Alright. How do I want to tackle border radius? You know what? Let's keep it simple. Let's just do this, get it built, and then I can look at the differences, and I think that'll be the easier time to yeah, make this work. Let's not put a space there. Let's do a radial gradient, and we're gonna do 1Q to make it a circle. That's the aspect ratio that we're putting in there. I understand that now. Didn't for the longest time. Never bothered learning that. Let's go 25 pixels. Let's do this. And, oh, we don't need a 0 on it. So, oh, it's going to be like 20 pixels. There we go. All right. Now, right now, it's going to be full height and width minus like 8 margin on the HTML, which is fine. I think we can get this to work just fine. Let's say 10 and then negative 50. Okay. There we go. Let's do 20. All right, negative 60. That is great. What's our repeat? Not position. We want to hit a 0 there and then go 50 pixels. Nope. We might have to move the position a little bit to get these. Yeah, 60, and then we got to move it over. Okay. So we have it built. Let's make sure this works. Okay. So if this were, oops, LH, not quite long enough. M's even worse. That's what I thought. Yeah, no. The biggest font value. It's the biggest font value. Let's go to unit golf. What do we got? CH? 50 CH compared to 22 line height. Line height's definitely bigger. Yeah, alright. 55EX. Alright. I think I just have to go to double digits is all. So if I do that, this is what I'm thinking is I can get rid of this with font. That's easy enough. I can hide that on the body with font. The other option, yeah, that's the shortest option. If I put this background, let's go control, put this here. Oops. Okay, and this is what we're going to see. Alright, yeah, because we don't see any background on the body. That's why it looks like this. That's not the worst thing that can happen. That dot will show up. So I want it to move up. I can't really use font. So my thought is like, I can't get rid of that circle. This is the hard spot, is I want it, either I need to move it, I could do a variable. A variable makes this real easy. But I want to avoid that if I can. Because I already have to do a variable here. Each variable is like, I don't know, I think about 12 characters to write. If you're not counting the things you're saving. That's just for the variable is 9, and then the actual property you have to write as the property name is another 3. So writing a new background is cheaper here than adding a variable on the body. Okay. Because of that, border radius remains our last problem. I feel like there's a simple solution, and I've seen it before, that didn't involve a variable. And if I'm not using font right now to change any, oh, I'm going to use font to change that, but only if I need to change this to an everything selector. Oops. I want, but I do want to only write border radius once. I wonder, no, that'll take way too much. I was thinking of extending the HTML down further and then doing an inset box shadow, adding an inset on, and then you know, when you do a lot of radius increase on the inset, the radius disappears. So if it was really long, like if I had negative margin on the bottom here, maybe that would hide it. But I think by the time you add in the inset box shadow and all this, I'd be farther ahead with the variable on the border radius. So I just have this feeling there's a better idea here. Oh, what is it? I think I know kind of what I want to do. I'm going to go var right here. I guess it doesn't matter where I do it. But I'm going to do this, and what I'm going to do is, instead of writing a new variable, we just leave it blank. And what's going to happen is it'll end up being 1 inch, and then this all gets eliminated, so it should be a circle. Right now it's not carrying down. Since the only thing I want to carry down is this border radius, I'm going to spin it into its own selector. So we're going to close this one off. We're going to make this a star that's nested. Alright, and it's working. So right now, this became HTML and body. Then we have our body. This is only selecting the HTML. So I can take this back down to 9 inch. It's one extra character that I'm saving there, because we don't need to do font. And I think that's where I'm at. I think that's just how it's going to be. I wonder if I can change this to like a percentage. Ooh, that looks really good. Oh, I can change it to a percentage, in which case we can take this and put it up here, and it still works, and we'll be able to delete that ellipsis by putting this ellipse, right? I'm saying that right? Parentheses, not ellipsis. I don't know. Is that the right one? I'm very confused. Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. It's not too important. Alright, let's move that down. The 100 won't make a difference because there's no space that I can clear at the end. This 160, let's see if we can do that. Way too much. Of course 50% is too much. That's the whole, ooh. But 40% isn't. Love it. Okay. And yeah, now we minify. And I think that's where I'm at. It doesn't feel like the best solution. Oh, border dotted. I wonder if a border dotted would have been the way to go. Borders. You can make all of this with just borders and then change it to a border dotted. That's the shorter way to go. I've used my time. I'm gonna leave it. 190 characters. Sad. It's not sad. That's pretty good. I mean, in all reality, this is decent, but still. Borders. I think borders with the border radius would have been better, because then you would be able to like carry down a lot to the next thing. Just a second, let me check that. Usually 11Q, oh no, not 11 pixels. 11Q is what I meant to do. Let's submit after this comes back at 99.9. 189. That's better. Come on, give me 100. Yep, there it is. Alright, that was fun. Hope you're having fun too, and I'll catch you later.